It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 10 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at this scene that was in one of the teasers where Michonne was looking at something, she was crying, she was very upset. We're going to take a look at that and see what that could possibly be. Now, I already did a video on this, and I still stand by most of what I said in that video, but I want to kind of go through some other possibilities in terms of what it could be. But at the end of the day, I think that it definitely has to be connected to Rick in some way. And it has to be a Rick tease. And it's got to be something that's going to take Michonne out of the story, and it's going to put her in a position where she could make her way into the Walking Dead movies and reunite with Rick. Maybe in the second or third movie. I don't think it'll be the first one, but maybe in the second or the third one. So in this video, we're pretty much going to look at the Rick tease, and I'm going to explain what I think it is and how everything could come together. We're also going to talk a little bit about a short leaked audio clip that has come out. I usually don't do spoilers on the channel, but I stumbled upon this somewhere on Twitter and I decided to include that in this video. But with that said, I will put a spoiler warning before we get to that portion and talk about that. Now, there isn't really too much there. It's really short and it is a leak, but it doesn't spoil too much. But I still want to put out a spoiler warning before we get to that point. But first, let's take a look at this. So obviously, we're talking about this scene with Michonne looking at something. She seems like she's rubbing it or holding it down with one hand while holding it with the other hand, and she's crying. She's pretty upset. Now, there is no way Michonne would react in such a way if this has nothing to do with Rick. Like, if you think about it, the only people who would hit Michonne this hard, if this was about them, it would be either Judith, RJ, or Rick. I don't think she'll react in such a way that she's doing here if it was anyone else. Yes, she would be upset if, let's say, Daryl or Carol are hurt, but I don't think that she'll act this way, if that makes any sense. And obviously at this point, we don't even know if Michonne is going to be able to go back and if she's ever going to see Daryl, Carol, and the other characters again. But for the purposes of this video, we'll leave that separate and we'll just talk about this specific scene. So Michonne looks pretty upset. One of the things that she could be holding is something that belongs to Rick. Now, in the other video I did, I mentioned that she could be holding maybe something that definitively tells her that this is Rick's. Only things that could possibly be is Rick's picture, which I already talked about in depth in my other video. You can check it out by clicking the link that's going to drop on the top right. So I'm not going to get into that too much, but that's one of the possibilities. It's also possible that she finds something else that belongs to Rick. Something that she could say in certainty belongs to Rick. Now, if we take a look at everything that Rick had in his possession when he disappeared, we can see there's a lot of stuff that it could be. If you take a look at Rick's picture here that I have, everything on Rick's belt could possibly be something that was dropped and Michonne somehow finds. It's a thing where Michonne knows that it for sure belongs to Rick. But with that said, I don't think anything on Rick's belt could automatically let Michonne know that this belongs to Rick. I know there's been theories that it could be Rick's belt buckle, or it could be maybe a knife that Rick had, or something else. We know it's not the axe because I think Tara ended up getting a hold of the axe and using it later on. So I don't think it's the axe, but the belt buckle and the knife. One of the problems I have with that prediction is that it could be anyone's knife. It could be anyone's belt buckle. It's not something that would automatically reveal to Michonne that it's Rick's. But with that said, that's more for the knife. Like the belt buckle, you could say that it could be something very unique where Michonne could know that it's Rick's. But then again, why would someone take Rick's belt buckle away? There's no value to them. Like, assuming that this specific scene with Michonne crying is somewhere where the CRM visited and where CRM soldiers visited and could have been holding some possessions from the people that they've captured. Would it make sense for them to have Rick's belt buckle? Probably not, because there's no value to it. But on the other hand, there is something else that does have value to them, or could possibly have value to them, that they could have taken away. For example, Rick's watch. Again, Rick's watch is still something that doesn't really have value to anyone in a post-apocalyptic world, but that's more likely than Rick's belt buckle, you know what I mean? And if it is in fact Rick's watch, that could be something that automatically does tell Michonne that it's Rick's, because maybe Rick's watch was not just any type of watch, you know what I mean? So they could play around with it that way if they wanted to. But in terms of Rick's belt buckle or his knife or something like that, I don't think it fits. Like, it has to be something that definitively tells Michonne that this is Rick's. A photo of Rick would do that. Rick's watch might do that. Or it could be something else that tells them that this is Rick's. It could be some sort of a badge with Rick's name on it. That's also a possibility. So there's possibilities there, but it's just a matter of it has to be concrete enough, and it has to be in such a way where it lets Michonne know for sure that it belonged to Rick. So that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about in terms of what Michonne is holding and what it could possibly be to make Michonne this upset. Before we move on to the leaked audio clip, and I also do have like a picture that was leaked that I do want to kind of go over. They're related, I think. So before we get into that, I do want to put out a spoiler warning. If you do not want to know anything about spoilers, please leave this video because I don't want to be the one spoiling it for you. So with that spoiler warning out of the way, let's jump right into it. So first, let's take a look at this image. So this image was posted by one of the actresses that's going to appear in the second half of season 10. We see her right here. She's going to make an appearance. She's going to appear alongside Michonne in some sort of way. And they posted this on, I think, Instagram, but they took it down afterwards. Maybe because it spoiled something, or it could possibly or potentially be a spoiler, so they removed it. But this is the image. Look at Michonne right here. She has this sort of yellow top on that we've seen her wearing in multiple shots in teasers and trailers. So that's pretty interesting. And she looks pretty shocked. Like, look at her face. Now, we don't know if these people around are from Virgil's community or if they are just other survivors that Michonne comes across. But it's very, very interesting. Honestly, when I looked at this person, I thought that was Jadis. But it's probably not, and doesn't make sense for Jadis to be around like that. Or it could, we don't know, but it's probably not Jadis. But Michonne looks surprised and shocked to see something. That's very, very interesting. Now, there's been rumors that Virgil could be like a Jadis 2.0, and he could have taken Michonne away to trade her to the CRM to gather supplies for himself and, you know, get something from them. That's a possibility, but there's two problems I have with that. One is that it's repetitive. It's like Jadis' story all over again, and it's just underwhelming a little bit. And the second thing is that why would Virgil go through with such a big risk of bringing Michonne to trade to the CRM? You know what I mean? Unless the CRM specifically asked for Michonne. You know what I mean? So that's a possibility. Like, they told Virgil, you can trade this person to us and we'll give you supplies. You know what I mean? So that's a possibility. But if that's not the case, then I find it hard to believe that Virgil would go through with such a big risk for maybe not such a big reward. You know what I mean? And also, how would she even know that Michonne could be connected? And if he doesn't, then why Michonne? Why not someone else? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of questions that come up if they do follow that story that I hope they explain. But that's pretty much it for this picture. Now, the audio clip that was leaked, it could be part of the same picture or the same scene that this picture comes from, or it could be from a different scene. But I do want to play the audio clip for you quickly. It's like maybe a couple seconds. So I'll play that clip for you and then we'll talk about it a little bit. So there it is. What did you do? So who is Michonne talking to? What is she referring to? These are some big questions that come up. Whatever the scene was, must have been a big scene. Like, if you pay attention to the audio clip, it seems like there's dramatic and intense music playing in the background. So that leads me to think that whatever that is, it's gotta be something big. It's gotta be some huge moment. Could she be talking to Virgil? Maybe. Could she have found out that Virgil knows about Rick and is asking, what did you do to Rick? Could Michonne be looking at Jadis and talking to Jadis? Like, what did you do to Rick? I'm super excited and stoked to find out what happens and to see what these scenes are. We don't even know if they're gonna happen. Like, they could have been scenes and audio clip that was stripped out and they could take it out completely and not include it. That is a little unlikely because it seems like both the image and the audio clip were from huge scenes. I doubt that they would just strip that completely. But with that said, it doesn't really spoil too much for us because it could be anything, you know? Super, super stoked and excited to find out what happens and to see what those scenes are all about. Now, before I end this video, there's a couple more things I do want to talk about. One, take a look at what Michonne is wearing here, where she's holding something. It seems like she's wearing the same yellow/orange top on, the same type of shirt that she's wearing in that leaked image that we looked at, and also she's wearing the same thing in other images that were in the teasers. So this could be part of that same scene, and you know, this could be after her shocked reaction to whatever she saw, and this scene could be an aftermath of that shocking scene, the scene that the image is coming from. One other thing I do want to mention is that if you don't know, it was rumored a while back that episode 12 was going to be Michonne's final episode, but now some official news has come out saying that episode 13 will be Michonne's final episode. Now, they did say that it was originally supposed to be episode 12, but they swapped it with episode 13, and now episode 13 is going to be Michonne's final episode. In my opinion, that doesn't make a huge difference. It's just a matter of 1 week's worth of waiting for Michonne's final episode, so it's not going to change too much. But at the same time, I think that it's interesting that they swapped it. Like, there had to have been a reason for it. They wanted to make a few adjustments to Michonne's final episode before it airs, and they might have needed some more time to do that. That's also a possibility, which is interesting. But with that said, that's pretty much everything I wanted to share with you guys. Press the like button if you enjoyed this video. If you are not a subscriber, subscribe to join our community and let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.